If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Welcome back in to Daybreak this morning. Time now for the interview of the day, maybe the interview of the week. Tomorrow I have Laura Barlow East coming in talking about Sylacauga Little League. Wednesday we have Dr. Ted Spears talking about the Marble Festival, and Thursday Sonia Epperson and Philip Morris coming up about Talladega County cleanup. But today got new councilman, or sort of new councilman, Nate Brewer. Good morning, Nate.
Good morning, Mr. Bob. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Nate's a councilman from District 3, and District 3 is pretty much all of downtown and
everywhere else you want to name.
Probably what surface downtown. But Nate, let's get right into it. You've been on the council 5 months. How would you describe your experience so far?
It's been a life-changing experience, just because there's a lot of things you have to juggle, a lot of things that you have to take into consideration. You know, I'm just one vote. A lot of different people have different opinions, and a lot of different things go on to make this city run. So it's been life-changing, but it's been a good experience. I've enjoyed it so far.
A lot of things going on in the city, a lot of things needed. What's the most pressing need, or the thing that really needs the most attention in the city?
The most attention that this city needs right now, we've got a bad litter problem. Okay, me and Laura Heath and Miss Diana Razor, we spent probably an hour and a half last night at TJ Maxx picking up the parking lot. Okay, and just picking up around the areas. And as you know, downtown looks bad at times, and different places in each district looks bad. We've got a bad litter problem going on right now, Mr. Bob, and we're going to have to figure out a way to get that under control. And we've talked to Chief Johnson and Captain Rondell Muse, and we've got some plans in action, and it's not going to be real good if you're caught littering. Because that right there has gotten to a point that
$500, I know.
Well, it's probably fixing to go up a little bit, Mr. Bob, because I don't think 500 is enough, because this used to be one of the most beautifulest cities in the county. It is the best city in the county if you think about it, because we've got so much going on and we've got so much around us, and we offer so much. In my mind, it's the best city in the county. But if we don't keep it clean, and if we don't start doing our part as citizens, we're going to be in a mess. So that's one of the main things that's pressing right now. And we've passed a new nuisance and abatement order, and that's going to kind of help that some, along with overgrown lots and the way you have to keep things on your own personal property neat and clean. So we're getting there, small steps.
So you were in the TJ Maxx shopping center last night cleaning up.
Yes, sir.
There's one trash can in the whole parking lot.
Yes, sir.
There were 3.
And I don't know anything about that.
No, well, let me tell you. Randy Clark, who has spearheaded this,
yes, sir,
checked with the management of the stores out there. They picked up the other 2 because they were always full. Now, is there anything that can be done? I've talked with other officials about this, and they don't have an answer. Is there anything that can be done with Hutton Company that they can ensure that their shopping center will stay clear?
See, me and Laura was talking about that last night, and we've got to have some more clarification, because we're both new to this, okay?
Well, I understand.
And we're both kind of researching, but where that parking area is, that's private property.
I understand.
Okay. And, you have to attack that at a different angle than you do most things. But she was going to get on that this morning, because that's in her district. She was going to get on that this morning and make some calls and see what we need to do. And then whatever we do there, we're going to do throughout the city. So.
Okay. I know Randy's done a good job.
He sure has.
I know you and Laura and other groups, other people were out there last night, and Randy Clark has been out there, and it seems that the people, when they leave the fast food out there, have to leave their bags.
Well, here's the thing, and I get it, Mr. Bob. You're going to Chick-fil-A, you're coming over there, and you're having lunch. I'm good with it. But when there's 2 trash cans on the sidewalk, one by TJ Maxx, the other one down here by Hobby Lobby, okay? but those cans are not big enough to service what that area gets at lunchtime, and you just keep packing. The wind blows, and it blows everything that's on top out. So we just got an issue, but we're going to get a grip on it.
I noticed that in some pictures that y'all posted, Laura posted on Facebook with cigarette butts. Cigarette butts is littering.
Yes, sir, it is. Here's the deal, Mr. Bob.
Now, wait a minute. I'm going to ask you a question. If somebody throws out a cigarette butt, and the policeman see him throw out a cigarette butt,
he better be writing a ticket.
Is that $500 fine?
He better be writing a ticket.
Okay. I was just saying, how
and
little,
if you
how
see
little,
it, you get a tag number, and you call it in.
How little a litter will get you a ticket? A cigarette butt.
Here's my thing. If anything
I know
comes
you're not
out,
the police.
That's right. If anything comes out, if you throw anything out of your window, in my mind, that's littering. Now, and if I need clarification or whatnot from the police chief, I'm pretty sure he'll call this morning and tell me, but I think I'm pretty much on it. If you throw anything out of your vehicle or anything blows out of your vehicle, that is considered littering.
Okay. During your campaign, you campaign on once a week garbage, against the once a week garbage pickup.
Right.
The city has just signed a new contract for once a week contract.
They did.
Price went up. What happened?
Here's the deal. I brought it to the council's attention that my people in my district wanted twice a week garbage pickup. And I brought different scenarios such as we'll pay the extra for twice a week just for a year. Let's just try it, just to see if it will cut down on the littering. And I was advised by the council president, Mr. Perryman, we was all there together. It was in a public meeting, and he says that they had taken a survey. Now, this is before I come aboard the council. This is pre-council. They had taken a survey showing that Sylacauga citizens did not use twice a week garbage pickup. Now, I never got a survey, but that don't mean it didn't get sent to the house, okay? And the other council members, they was okay with still once a week garbage pickup. Now, I voted no on that contract because it was not twice a week like my people had wanted, like I had intended for it to be. So, but there's a new garbage service going to take over April 1st. So I'm hoping that's going to get better too, because I know a lot of you have reached out to me and we've called City Hall and we've kind of got those things going. But April 1st, a new company's taking over, and we're thinking and hoping that this is going to be better for all of us. So just bear with us. If you're still missing garbage, still call, and I'll call City Hall. You can call City Hall, and we'll get that taken care of till April 1st. So
256-401-2401.
That's it.
Okay. Another thing you campaigned on was a storm shelter for the city. Where we stand on that?
Right now I'm still talking to different people. I'm talking to Lincoln periodically here. Now I'm actually going to set up a meeting this week and talk to them. They just got a storm shelter that has sit 120 people for $140,000, but they went through different grants and different things. So I'm going to talk to them and see how they did theirs, and I'm going to bring that idea back to the council. I didn't need a little more time because I'm still getting my feet wet, still learning how everything works, but that is still in the works. So
campaigned on traffic signals for 1st Street, 2nd Street, on Norton Avenue.
Yes, sir, right here.
The Speedway.
And by the way, February the 18th, we had another accident right there. It was about 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm still working on that. I'm still gathering all my data. And if I have to, I will bring that up every year till we get something there. That's something that's got to be done. I believe that's something for safety that's got to be done. So I'm still working on that, you know. This has only been like 5 months, so we hadn't really hit the ground running like we would, because we've been dealing with other issues instead of dealing with what's going on in our district, because other issues have come up that we've kind of had to attack head on. But I'm still working for you guys, and I'm still trying to do what I told you I said I'd try to do.
There's always a rumor about the sales tax increase in Sylacauga, and I heard it again last week, and I think you campaigned against that.
Yeah, I'm not for sales tax increase until we start making cuts in the appropriations we give out. In other words, I'm not for a sales tax increase until we start making cuts on our end. Now, if we start making cuts on our end and we're still not where we need to be, then they may have to go up a little bit. I'm not for that right now, and I won't be for that. I've heard that rumor once or twice. Now, I can't tell you I've heard it from anybody at City Hall because I haven't. I haven't heard it from any council member. Okay, so I know that's probably out there in the streets, but I haven't heard it.
One of the other items that has really helped Sylacauga is the revenue sharing incentive agreements. Where do you stand on these agreements?
I love being able to give incentives as long as it's creating more jobs for our community. As long as it's bringing us growth and as long as people are being successful, I have no problem with the incentives as long as we don't go over that threshold of 10 years. You know, 10 years is kind of the cap. You know, some get 10, some don't get 10 because they don't need 10. But as long as we don't go over that threshold, we're getting revenue, but yes, we are giving some of it back. I understand what you're saying, but we're still getting revenue in the city and they are still spending their money here in Sylacauga. So as long as it's creating jobs and bringing money in and building growth for our community, I don't have a problem with that. I'm good with it.
I think the thing that a lot of people, when they see it and object to it, is the city giving away in half or 3/4 of sales tax. But in most instances, it should be of sales tax that you didn't get before. So one of the former councilmen, every time this came up, this has been going on for about 10 years now, the 702. Dale, every time it would come up, he said it's better to give away half of something than get all or nothing. If you think about that.
Yes,
and
sir.
That's what you get. And I know the latest one is on Robo Motors.
Yes, sir.
I think we can mention names on that now.
We can. Mr. Dickey Wright and Mr. Dick Wright, Miss Betty and Stephanie, they are taking Robo Motors to a whole new level, Mr. Bob. You know, since I was a little boy, Robo Motors has always been down here across from Burger King. Well, now they're moving out to 280 across from the where the Golden Corral used to be. He's going to build a car lot there. They're still going to deal in their used cars like they've been doing, but he's going to build a car lot there and he's going to jam it up. He's going to make it real nice. He's creating 5 to 10 more jobs, a couple of part-time jobs, full-time jobs, and that's going to be good for our community.
So we've got quite a bit of that revenue sharing going on in town.
Yes, sir, we do. We've got a lot of it.
We've got Sarah, we've got Hutton. And a few more. And I think it has really helped the growth. At one time, you could give industrial incentives, but until this 702 came along, and about 15 years ago, you could not give a commercial incentive to locate.
Wow.
You don't know that, but that's,
yes, sir, I didn't.
That's what it was. One of the big issues you had on the last city council meeting was the widening of repaving and putting sidewalks and turn lanes on James Payton Boulevard.
Yes, sir.
You fixed to increase the traffic even more out there, and everybody's hollering for a traffic light at well, I guess it's 511 or whatever that is, Old Birmingham Highway. Now, tell us about what's going to happen on James Payton Boulevard, because it's in pretty good shape now. But,
it is in
but
good
it does
shape.
have a lot of traffic.
It does. Well, here's what's happened. You've got those new stores over there where TJ Maxx is, Mr. Bob, and then you've always got Walmart and that strip mall there. There's more traffic that's increased on that road. So they're going to put in some turning lanes and some different things to help get in and out, okay? I'm not familiar with if a traffic light's going up automatically or how that's going to work. I don't know that part yet.
I probably wouldn't even mention that.
Yeah, but I do know AlDOT is going to give $250,000. So once the bid comes out, AlDOT will take care of $250,000 of the bid, and then the city will be responsible for the rest. Now, the bids are not in yet, so we don't know what that cost is, but AlDOT's going to help us out there, and that's going to be a good deal. They're going to widen some sidewalks, and they're going to do some turning lanes, and the mayor done a good job of heading that up and working with Michael Rice, and the council done a good job of exploring that, and I think that's been going on a little while, so I think that's going to be good for community-wide.
You got one of the items Fire Chief Nate Osgood brought up was mutual aid agreement with the Oak Grove Fire Department. Tell us what, or the city of Oak Grove, the Oak Grove Fire Department, tell us what that entitled.
Well, from what I've gathered is if we need help on a fire, Oak Grove is going to come and assist us. And vice versa. If Oak Grove needs some assistance or help on a fire, we're going to go and help them because we're right here together, okay? And we all work so good together, so it only made sense to join together, kind of, sort of, and help this community out as a whole.
Okay. You have mutual aid with the county? Yeah. If house catches on fire,
I think we have so far we go, and then the other local fire department meets us there, from what I've gathered.
Okay.
So like if we have to go, if there's something happens in Winterburg, they've got a volunteer fire department up there. We would assist them as depending on which end of the county. If they was on the other end, then Talladega would assist. It just depends on now. Obviously, if something bad breaks out and they need some major assistance, we're coming because we believe in helping everyone around us.
Okay. Animal shelter as a department in the city.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Was very much needed, Mr. Bob, okay? Reed Calfee's been running that animal shelter along with one full-time employee and a couple of part-time employees. Now, Reed Calfee, if you don't know Reed, you need to make a point to find Reed and introduce yourself to Reed because Reed is one of the best workers we have. He's the superintendent of the street department, works well, does a great job. He's been running the animal shelter. He's been the department head, okay? So the manager is retiring. She's been there a little while, and she wants to retire. So she's leaving, and what we've done, we've created 3 full-time positions and 2 part-time positions, if I remember correctly. And that department is going to be a department on its own, but it's going to report to the mayor, okay? Because the mayor is over all department heads, okay? So that department's going to report to Mr. Jim Heigl, and he's going to kind of oversee that for us because we've got a lot of strays and a lot of animals running around and a lot of animals being dropped off at the animal shelter after hours, which really shouldn't be. So, and you know, a little animal, he can't help that he's been brought into this world, basically, and, you know, they've got feelings too, and they get mistreated. And if we don't get a grip on that, then we could be in some issues. So that's why we kind of went ahead and done that at the animal shelter, made those positions available, and put that under the mayor because the mayor can oversee it, and Reed can kind of frees Reed up, and he can do his regular duties and not feel like he's crammed, and he can do them sufficiently.
Commercial Development Authority contract.
CDA, yes, sir.
CDA contract. At the last work session, there was a lengthy discussion about funding, how much to fund them. Mm-hmm. I will say that if you can correct me, please do so. The Commercial Development Authority, outside the Industrial Development Board, is the only board appointment that the city makes that contributes money. What they do contributes money back to the city.
Yes, sir, you're correct.
Because they look for commercial development.
That's right.
And where do you stand on this?
I'm still researching on that. Now, here's the deal, okay? Pre-council, okay, before I got in office, and before the CDA changed roles in leadership, there was some leadership there that was lacking in what they needed to be doing as far as the CDA board. So the city stopped the funding, which was $16,000 a year, which is not very much money, okay? They stopped the funding, okay? Well, Brian Taunton and Ryan Coleman, some of them have come back, and they've got all the CDA back running on the straight and narrow, okay? Well, they have come along with the liaison. Ashton Fowler has come and asked for $20,000. Now, I know $20,000 is a lot of money. I get it. I really do. But they're fixing to move buildings because they're fixing to take off, okay? And they've got grants that they're going to be applying for our city, and those grants have got to show where the city supports them some way, somehow financially, okay? And because if your city's not backing you, then they don't want to give you these grants, because if your city's not backing you, then something's wrong somewhere. And the CDA is really good. I encourage you, if you're not on the CDA, to come to City Hall and get an application and apply to be on that authority, because they do a good job. I mean, they go out here to find commercial development and bring it back to our city. And that also gives us growth and helps us take off from where we are now. So, and where I stand on the 20 right now, I'm still doing some research, but by the time we meet, I'll have my decision made.
City of Sylacauga has 6 board or authority. Well, first, let me explain to the people the difference in a board and an authority. A board has limited powers of doing just what the city tells them to do.
That's correct.
An authority has the authority to do anything that you and I to do.
That's right.
An authority can borrow money, lend money, get grants, or rent property, sell property, or anything an individual can do. That's the difference in a board and an authority. And it should be, it wasn't the other night when it was talked about in the council, but that should be brought up. Authority should not be compared to a board when in a discussion. Excuse me. But you have 6 board appointments: the Board of Education, Commercial Development Authority, Historical Commission, Industrial Development Board, Tree Commission, and Zoning Board of Adjustment and Appeals. What's the process? People want to be on this. What do they do to get there?
Here's what you do. You go to City Hall, you get an application for the board that you would like to be a part of, or the authority you would like to be a part of. You fill an application out, and you will come for an interview in front of the council. The council will give you an interview, and then we will make a decision on whether to appoint you or to appoint someone else. Now, if you've already interviewed for a board, and you want to be a part of another board and nobody else is interviewed, we don't have to interview you again because you've already been interviewed. So you would actually automatically go on that authority or that board that you'd applied for because you've done interviewed one time. But if you hadn't interviewed, you have to come interview in front of the city council. You get your paperwork at the city clerk's office, and they'll be happy to help you fill it out there if you want to, or you can take it home and bring it back.
Very little change ever made on boards and authorities.
True. And that's sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. And why I say bad, because everybody kind of gets stuck in their happy place, in their happy median, and sometimes you don't get to see the whole picture of how things really needs to operate. So sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not good. But I think we've got people in the right places on a lot of
I'm not
our boards and our
criticizing
authorities. I get it. I think we've got people in the right places.
I'm not
so
criticizing the people there. I'm just criticizing you very seldom have a lot of people apply for boards, and in most cases, you don't have anybody apply for board.
Yes, sir. And that's an issue with us citizens. Applying for a board and authority is a great way for you to get involved. That's a great way for you to give back to your city, to kind of, if you don't like the way something's going, get on a board or authority and try to be the change and try to make something happen that you want happen, because the city council can't do it by themselves. These people on the board and authorities can't do it by themselves. You know, you have to come and get involved to help us, because at the end of the day, we're all one. It's Sylacauga versus everybody. Whether they like it or not, it's us versus everybody. And we've got to get on board, and we've got to take this thing off. We've got to hit it head on, and we've got to bring things into town, and we've got to make things that sell, and we've just got to do what we've got to do to make our city run.
City has purchased 4 generators.
Yes, it was very much needed.
Did we have them before or didn't have them?
Well, we didn't have them in 2 of the locations. And the other 2 locations, they was wore out, okay? It's because when that storm come through in October, you know, all of town lost power,
Yeah.
okay? Well, our radios went down. City Hall went down, okay? No lights. The only people that had lights was the fire station, because the backup generator that's wore out kicked on. Well, Mike Whetstone went to work, and he got us some prices and some quotes on generators. Now, the shop's going to have a generator. City Hall's going to have a generator. The animal shelter's going to have a generator. And I'm missing one, Mr. Bob.
Street department.
And the street department's going to have a generator. Now, you're probably sitting there saying, well, why is the street department going to have one and the shop? Well, if Reed's over here in his department working on something and he's got chainsaws or trucks that breaks down, well, he's got to pull it into the city shop. Then they've got to fire up, but if they ain't got no power, they can't work on Reed stuff to clear roads or to work on the fire department stuff or to do what they need to do. So that was very much needed just for EMA purposes and just for our safety as citizens.
You got an idea of the cost of those? It may not be.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know it was expensive.
I can imagine. Municipal Housing Code Abatement Board that has just been reactivated.
Yes.
That's 2 members per district, 10 people, and they've just been appointed. Tell me about why it was done.
Okay, that right there, Tiffany Nix kind of got that ball rolling, okay? She kind of headed that up and she started finding different abatements in different cities, and they come together and they give it to Mike and Shannon and Tiff, and they all worked on it together, and they read it and found the one that fits us the best. So we went out and we found 2 of people in our district. Ours in District 3 would be Ken Brewer and Sharman Brown. Those are our 2 board members for that. The nuisance and abatement, that right there is what I was talking about, the overgrown lots, abandoned houses, keeping your things up, and different scenarios, okay? If you don't do those things now, you can receive a warning, then you can receive a citation, and if you don't take care of the things you need to take care of, the city can end up getting your land until you take care of your responsibilities. So I advise everyone to take care of their lands and take care of their houses, take care of their lots, whatever it may be, because if you don't, you could wind up with a ticket, you could wind up in some trouble, and we don't want that for anybody. But guys, if we don't take care of this now, we're going to be in a world of trouble. We're not going to be in Sylacauga the Beautiful anymore. We're not going to be in the hometown that we all love because it's not going to look real good. Okay, we've got to take control of this now. We've got to take action, and that's kind of why Tiff got that ball rolling, because she sees some of the same things I see, and like every other council member sees. We've got to start it up, and we've got to get going now.
26 minutes past the hour. Got about 3 minutes left this morning, Nate. January 15th meeting requested to obtain a permit from ADM to use the incinerator. February 18th, the city accepted the permit. Tell us about that. Okay,
here's the deal. Pre-council, like I said, pre-council's before I got there. I don't know if there was burning or not burning. I never smelt anything. I never seen anything. I don't know. But I know there's been a couple of complaints of the city burning things they shouldn't be burning. Let me tell you this. If Reed Calfee, that is the street superintendent, tells me we are only burning grass limbs and what we are supposed to be burning, that's what we're doing. He's not a liar. He does the right thing. He's been doing this a long time. I trust him and I stand behind him. Now, prior to that, if they had a permit, I don't know if they had a permit or not because I wasn't on the council. Okay, I know when all this started flaring up, the incinerator was shut down until we got a permit. When we got a permit, then the incinerator was fired up again. But keep in mind, the city is not the only people that burn throughout the day. You've got different companies that have to burn different things or have to do something that's involving burning to make their company run, okay? It's not always the city when something bad goes wrong. So if you have any questions, call me at 256-404-3419. I don't mind answering any of them. If I don't know the answer, I'll find the answer. But long story short, I don't know anything about a permit before. All I know is right now the city has a permit and the city is burning only what they're supposed to be burning.
Nate Brewer, Councilman, District 3.
Yes, sir.
Downtown and most of the streets around, and Marble City Cemetery is in your district. I thank you for all you do for us over there and help us take care of it.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out this morning. And Good luck with the city, and thank you for what you do.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Mr. Bob.
Okay.